All right. Welcome to round three of the Touring Cars Cup, part of the World Series in 2025. We are still running the GT Driver career, and you see the qualifying results with Blasi taking pole, Shelty on the front row, then B Racing and Richie on that second row, the two Sciroccos, row three with Jaeger and Stu. Row number four, we have BMO and Rick. And for our driver in, where's that? I have no clue. I just did. I spoiled you with the race results. No, you didn't see that. So still okay qualifying results. Blasi and Shelty, Racing Richie, Jaeger, Stu, BMO, and Rick. And then on that fifth row we have Evok joining us. All right. So those are the settings for today. Round three, early morning, cloudy conditions. Then it gets sunnier towards the end of the race. So without any further ado, we'll start the replay. Have fun, enjoy. Oh, and it's go, go, go! Green lights. And Blasi with a good start, covering the inside line. Shelty on the outside already, who gets the run into turn number one. Still inside for Blasi. Keeps the position, Shelty. Second B Racing up. No, stays in P3. Richie stays in P4. Jaeger P5 so far. A clean lap. Number one, Stu in P6. BMO 7th with Evok. And Rick getting a side-by-side action. Downhill we go. Looks like we keep it as it is. So the Audi leading the Mazda in P2. Then the two Sciroccos. Ooh, that was close. Richie a bit late on the inside. And Jaeger right behind. Through the S's we go for the first time. Top 5 already starting to build a little gap to Stu. Just on the edge of losing the slipstream now. Still there, still there. And heading into Banky Boy for the first time. Let's see. Status quo. Blasi, Shelty, B Racing, Richie, Jaeger, Stu, Evok, BMO. Well, BMO had got himself a half-second penalty. Will be costly next lap. Where's to serve that penalty? So BMO, Rick and Evok, the bottom three at the moment, and a little gap to Stu already. And in the top 5, Jaeger, Richie, B Racing, Shelty versus Blasi. And Blasi keeping that P1, but also with a penalty half a second. So lap 1 done. Oh, there was a little bit of contact between B Racing and Shelty. Shelty yeeted himself into the wall instead of hitting Blasi. So for a moment, B Racing in 6th, Shelty 5th, Stu up to P4, Richie in 3rd, Jaeger with suddenly finding himself in P2 after that little moment between the TCR drivers in front. And Blasi trying to maintain that gap at least, so he will stay in the lead before the penalty zone. That looks like 1.5 seconds at the moment, so should be fine for now. So we wait on the top. Here is the penalty zone. And this will bring Jaeger and Ritchie back into the game. Shelty got past 2 and B Racing now as well. Run down into Banky Boy around the outside. It is Stu and Ewok still close, and Rick and BMO. So after serving the penalty, BMO still has contact to driver, and looks like Ritchie has a bit more pace at this stage. He makes that move into the final turn, now on the hunt. Ritchie in P2, Jaeger third, Shelty in P4, B Racing P5. The next Audi, the 78 with Stu in 6th. Ewok in the second, Mazda 3 on the grid. Keep in touch with Stu. Rick in the third, Audi R8. BMO in that third, Scirocco, another half a second penalty. That doesn't really help. A nice little gap for the Italian driver now in P1. It's roughly 2 seconds at this stage. Shelty caught up with Ritchie and Jaeger, so has a little bit of a tow uphill, and that Mazda 3 is still very quick in a straight line, so we'll close the time in no time before Banky Boy. We're racing a little gap just outside of that slip, maybe. And we all know he has some good pace, and as soon as the cars are getting closer in those braking zones or mid-speed corners, and the cars behind, they will definitely gain some time. So for now, it's Blasi leading. Come around the final turn, the end of lap 3. Oh, runs wide over the grass, dirty tires. A mistake that brings back the group even more. It's still the fastest lap for a brief moment. Well, Ritchie right behind Blasi now, Jaeger as well, and Shelty. So the top four really close now. And also B Racing looks like he has that tow. 26.8 last time around, so it's not too far behind. So that gap to E Racing opened up. Also to Ewok got himself a little bit of a breathing room now. And Rick and BMO fighting for P8 and P9 still. It's not over. Ewok, the power sections, closes that gap, then through the S's and the high mid-speed and high-speed corners, that Audi R8 is just flying, and looks like Stu can open up that gap now. Will we see the move now down the straight? Also, it's Ritchie versus Blasi. Ritchie in the lead, and Shelty with more top end. He gets past Diego. Oh, does he? Good exit out of Banky Boy for the pink Swift Mobile. No. Couldn't get alongside. So down to P4 it is for the German driver, and B Racing still lurking. That is not far off that group now. Blasi struggled a little bit on the previous lap. This gives Richie the opportunity to maybe break that toe. Gets a nice run, and suddenly he is P1, 2072, 2088, 2074, 2081, and a 2070. So here we go. The top 5 are in that fight for P1. We have Stu, that gap already opening up to the top 5. So probably won't be seeing them for a long time. Evoque or Rick with another penalty. This is good news for BMO. Will probably gain that position from the Australian driver once they approach the penalty zone. Here we go. It's probably 2.5 seconds between P1 and P5 currently. Through the S's, it is Blasi with the advantage. Maybe gaining a little bit of slipstream uphill after the S's. And here comes Shelty in that Mazda speed. Inside line, and another move done for Shelty. Cutback for Blasi, and nice move. He keeps that P2 for now, but is it the cutback of the cutback? No, not yet. Shelty looking again on the inside line. Camera, please show us something. Oh, nice little move down the inside. This all helps Richie, of course. So he's building a little bit of a gap to Shelty, Blasi, Jaeger. Coming around the final turn, lap number 5. So it's a 40-minute race as usual. Racing medium tires available for the drivers. With the fuel consumption sitting at ×4 and tire wear ×3. So those are the race settings for the entire Touring Cars Cup. And yeah, Richie now has that 1+ second gap to Shelty, Blasi, Jaeger. E-Racing not in an attacking position for now, but it looks like that Jaeger might lose a little bit of contact now to Shelty and Blasi. Blasi with a penalty though, half a second. Will he serve the penalty now? I think he got it this lap, so it will be next lap for Blasi. And Blasi now looks down the inside into Banky Boy. Shelty hangs it around earlier on the power, but again, the downforce. The 27 Audi, strong as always, but Shelty has the better line. What a move now. Position for the next right-hander, and even with a little fighting, they're actually closing the gap to Richie. But that half-second penalty will be costly for the Italian driver. Jaeger and E-Racing not too far behind. Let's have a look at our other drivers. Stu, a bit of no man's land. And we have Evoque, BMO, and Rick fighting for P7, 8 and 9. As it looks for now. Start of lap 7, it's still Richie leading in the Scirocco. Shelty in the Mazda P2, Audi TT in P3, and Suzuki Swift P4. So 4 different manufacturers Again, very close together, at least at the start of this race. And B Racing now also is now really close. It's probably 1.2 seconds between P1 and P5. Ritchie with a mistake. By the looks, out of the downhill hairpin into the S's we go. Not the best entry. This could be opportunity for Shelty to go for a run down into Banky Boy, and also Blasi will be serving that penalty now. So Jaeger will get that free pass and be racing probably as well. Oh, will he? I don't know. We have to go to the front. Ritchie versus Shelty. Shelty with his signature move. Inside line. And yeah, B Racing got past Blasi just before the braking zone. So we have a new race leader, Shelty, leading Ritchie in second, Jaeger in third. Look at that. This is half a second between the top three, and coming into the final sector, it's getting even closer. This is Blasi's point of view. That's less than a second to P1 at this stage. This time no drama through the final turn. Can he use that toe? It's trying to go around the outside. Is it possible? Yes, the inside line now. Oh, cuts the grass a little bit. And then a slight contact with B Racing. And that's another half second for Blasi. Interesting. The lap 8, drivers might be looking at a pit stop now. The next couple of laps. Lap 9, lap 10. This is probably like where the pit stop window opens for most of the drivers. So we still have Shelty leading. Ritchie in P2. Jaeger close through the S's, but not close enough. Especially uphill. Losing a little bit. Oh, and we're doing the snake on the straight. Tracking the toe. That worked quite well for Shelty. Keep that gap close for Jaeger, nearly touched Ritchie. And Blasi served the penalty, still has that toe. But it is good news for our championship leader. Now the top three with a little gap. Can they work together? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Mazda, Scirocco, and Swift in the lead. Looks like at least another lap for the top runners. Shelty, Ritchie, Jaeger, B Racing, and Blasi. Oh, again with a little bit off-track action. Stu. And Evok killed his tire already. Or he's has to pit probably now this lap. Yeah, killed that front left. Rick versus BMO. Yeah, BMO looking after the tires. Rick struggling a little bit with the tire wear. Let's go better tires. Front runner Shelty, Ritchie. That's not much separating those two. Oh, that Swift is good with the tires. Just lacks a little bit of grunt. And B Racing also good job looking after the tires. The same for Blasi. So Jaeger with the best tires out of the top 5, but the fuel is also a concern. So used way more fuel than the other drivers. This will mean he has a slightly longer pit stop again, and Shelty versus Ritchie. Ritchie with the run into the braking zone for Banky Boy. Gets the inside line and moves up into P1. Shelty Jaeger OB Racing. 1 second penalty for B. Blasi OB looking down the inside. No, wasn't quite there. So what's the decision now for the drivers? Pit or stay out for one more lap? We'll run with Ritchie, our race leader, getting into the final turn. And a late decision into the pits. It is Shelty staying out, Jaeger staying out, Blasi staying out. So Ritchie in, B racing in, and B racing with a 1 second penalty. But the fuel is very, very good for B racing. So Stu staying out in the Audi as well. BMO into the pits, Rick into the pits. Will they jump Evoque? That is the question. So Evoque currently in the final sector. Final turn to go. Rick also used plenty of fuel. So it's probably not helpful for the Audi driver. Evoque passes the finish line and BMO gets the jump into Scirocco. So Evoque in 8th and Rick in P9 currently. So top 4 haven't pitted yet. That is Shelty, Jaeger, Blasi, and also Stu. And I'm pretty sure they will be looking at a pit stop pretty soon. We're racing with that undercut in the pits with the fuel, but the 1 second penalty now will slow him down. So Ritchie will get that position. Now no problem for Ritchie. Pretty sure the leaders now are in that final sector and will be looking at the pit stop. It's close between Shelty and Jaeger. A little gap to Blasi, and yeah, both coming into the pits, and Blasi with 29, Shelty with 20, and Jaeger with 20. So it's too much of a difference to stay in touch. So can Ritchie retake the lead? I think he had to fuel a little bit more, so maybe it's Shelty who was good with the fuel. Here we go. Where's Shelty? Whoa, it's close. Shelty kept that position. Ritchie in 2nd, Blasi 3rd. B racing in P4, and Jaeger, yeah, lost that time to Shelty and Blasi, and loses a little bit of momentum on the outlap. Those cold tires was not ideal. Please, Shelty doing a good job on the outlap, keeping that P1 for now, and Ritchie and Blasi P2, P3. Racing, despite that 1 second penalty, is still in touch for a possible race victory. And then we see that we don't see the Suzuki Swift right behind, so that gap opening up. The top 4 running away with it. Elimination race after the pit stop. Looks like from 5 down to 4. Be racing with a nice camera shot. A battle for P1, 2 and 3. Will they go side by side into the right-hander? Yes, they will. And let's go chase cam. See, oh, I think Richie just went a little bit off track. We saw that dust, and yeah, there's a half-second penalty because of that. Just too much upstream ahead. The slipstream battle is real. Blasi versus Richie into turn 1. Richie late, Blasi. Around the outside, a bit of contact. It's all good, all good. He was earlier on the accelerator. It looks to be like the Audi driver gets the track position for now. And Shelty opening up that gap. Also be racing with the run, and Diego, yeah, lost contact now. It's outside of the slipstream range, so we can only, and this is the good news for Jaeger, that half-second penalty will bring Richie closer to Jaeger and provide a little bit of assist. Maybe they can close that gap to the top runners. But look at Shelty now, flying after the pit stop. Opened up a nice little gap, nearly outside of the slipstream range. Blasi, Richie serving that penalty, drops down to P4. And yeah, gives Jaeger a little bit of a tow now. Stu in no man's land. Currently P6 on big gaps. Or Stu to the cars in front and behind. We still have a close race between BMO and Evoque. And his new stint number 1, Evoque, literally destroyed his front left tire. So probably advantage for the Belgian driver, and took care of the tires. And Rick, little gap now to P7 and P8. Can he keep it clean? Maybe let's look after the tires towards the end of the race. We're looking at 19 race laps, so start of lap 13, it's Shelty. Blasi still has somewhat of a slipstream. E-Racing also is close. Richie and Diego, so everyone has a little bit of a tow. I think it's still anyone's game out of the top 5 for the podium. Let's go with this one. See through the S's. And Audi TT is strong, but then that Scirocco in the slipstream, really fast car, and closing that gap into Banky Boy. Different approach to that corner. Looks like E-Racing with a massive run this lap. Could this be the new fastest lap of the race? Now incoming. Yeah, roughly half a tank of fuel and fresh medium tires. Probably the best conditions now with weight versus tire wear. Good final return for Blasi. Will probably get a new 206.2. Nice lap. fastest lap so far. Shelty with the 206.4, a 0.2 for Blasi, a 0.6 for B Racing, Ritchie 0.6, and Jäger also with a 0.6. It's still close at the front. I think 3 seconds-ish between P1 and P5. So look at Stu, a little bit of a moment last step round, 2:010. Personal best for BMO in P7 with a 2:08.185, 2:08.9. So Evoque was struggling a little bit to stay with BMO. And Rick with that 2:08.5. Yeah, good lap times. Can still see P8 and 7 downhill. This is not over. During this stage of the race, it was really like keeping it clean, not really wasting time and fight too much. Just get into the rhythm for the final couple of laps. Get yourself into a position. Purple all around. So everyone now in the zone with good lap times, good sector times. What's Shelty's lap gonna be? Looks like an improvement. 2:06.4. Blasi 2:06.5. 2:06.7. 6 and 6 again. So this is like very evenly paced. Just waiting for the final hooray for that race. Stu after that slower lap, now personal best. BMO 8.7, 9.3, so that gap slowly opening up to Evoque, and that's probably due to the front left now starting to wear. That's the opportunity for Rick. He closed that gap. Now let's go back to the sharp end. Blasi still staying with Shelty. Oh, 2/10 purple. This could be a mighty lap incoming. Maybe a 2:05. We'll see out of Banky Boy. Has a nice little toe uphill. And still 2.5 tenths purple. Just needs a solid final turn. Early on the power, no understeer. Slipstream and 2:06.1. Just saw that move. Jäger up to P4, Ritchie down to P5 for now. We see that the gap between Jäger and B Racing now opened up outside of the slipstream now, and B Racing closing that gap to the top 2. So lap 16. Definitely now in the decisive stage of that race. And it's in US sports you would say money time, crunch time now. Go for it. Shelty was defending into the Banky boy, so probably losing a little bit of speed now. Still keeping that P1. Blasi so close. B Racing also not too far behind. What's in for Jaeger and Ritchie? Can they close the gap? Maybe a penalty could help them to fight for the podium. For now it looks like it will be for P4 and P5 between the two. Stu still all by himself. BMO has a big gap now to Evoque, who again with the tires struggling, and Rick might be in there for a late race overtake. We have to go back to the front battle. Shelty under pressure now. So this lap and then two more to go, and it's bunching up at the front, the top three. Racing just I think inside that slipstream range, so he could benefit from a little bit of tow after the S's. A massive run though for Blasi, right up Shelty's rear bumper, and Shelty again going defensive, covering the inside line. Forces Blasi the long way around, or go for a cutback. Oh, did it happen? So good defensive driving. I think B Racing gained now another 1/2 Those two are also pushing. They want to get closer to that thing. Once they start fighting, they will lose time. And this is the opportunity. So it's the penultimate lap. Shelty still leading with the defensive move. He stays in P1 heading into turn number 1. Blasi aggressive now. Time to go for the move now, I think. B Racing now so close behind. And it's still Shelty with the mega defensive drive into the downhill hairpin. We go keeping that position for now. They go side by side, coming out Shelty. This time Blasi with the better run gets in front. How long can he stay in P1? That is the question through the S's. He might open a little gap, but then that Mazda 3 is a rocket down the straight also. It is B Racing now right behind. So top 3 fighting for the podium positions. Who's going for a move into Banky Boy? No one. You're racing and Shelty both with a good run. It's still Blasi defending that position. And Jaeger looking to go and close the gap, and then gets a half-second penalty. No, For what? A little track cut maybe. That sweeping right-hander uphill. That gap between the cars is coming down like crazy. So final lap now about to begin. And Blasi is low on fuel, lower probably than Shelty. Yeah. Can Blasi defend P1 into turn number 1? For now he does, inside line for both of the turns coming out of the first chicane. And Blasi leading Shelty P2, P Racing P3. Jaeger gained like crazy, that half second will haunt him. And Richie in P5. Stat gap close enough to get past Jaeger when he serves the penalty? Probably yes. So the top 3 for the final time into the downhill left we go. Still have Blasi in that lead position. Shelty P2, B Racing P3. We go chase cam now. ODS is carrying some good speed, a little lift needed at this stage. Tires not the best anymore. It looks more like Shelty will get the run on Blasi. Blasi sitting duck in that TT. Can that Mazda get the move done before Banky Boy? No. Blasi defends the inside, compromised maybe a little bit, and B Racing with a massive run out of Banky Boy. Richie got past Jaeger here after serving the penalty. So they go into the final sector, side by side between Shelty and Blasi, and this is the opportunity for B Racing. He dives down the inside. We go 3 wide into the right-hander. No way! It is 3 wide. Where are the cars? B Racing with the move. 2 for 1. Gets into lead, then runs a little bit wide. Into the final two. B Racing going defensive. Blasi around the outside. Breaks early. B Racing understeers. Loses the speed. And now it's a run to the line. Blasi versus Shelty. Blasi keeps that position. Shelty P2. B Racing P3, Richie P4, and Jaeger P5. Less than 2 seconds separating the top 5 again. What a crazy finish, crazy race again. So, like 3 rounds in a row, intense racing up until the final corner. Stu then finishes in P6. We have BMO in P7, and we see that Rick got past Evoque on that final lap. So Evoque's tires, biggest problem for him today in that race. Rick crosses the line P8, Evoque P9. Alright. So let's quickly this one exactly. Bring up the race results so that you didn't see them earlier, right? Blasi with the win and the fastest lap as well, 206.1. And Shelty in P2. And B Racing finishes on the podium as well. P3, Richie 4, Jaeger P5 with that annoying penalty. So I think without that penalty, this would have been really close for Jaeger as well to join that fight for the victory on that final lap. But could have, would have, should have, whatever. Stu, P6. EMO in P7, Rick 8, and Evoque and P9 for round number 3. Alright, so that's it for this. Next week we'll be heading over to America. Willow Springs, Big Willow, the tire shredder. So maybe we'll see multiple pit stops at Big Willow. At front tires that will be screaming for help, no doubt about it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope to see you next week for round number 4 of the Touring Cars Cup, part of the World Series in 2025 here at CLR. Yeah. Take care. See you soon. Yippee-ki-yay. Love you all. Bye. Bye.